Welcome back, scholars. I'm Lilly, and this is Scholarly Start. Consider this your field guide to AAA culture. My credentials, a curious mind. My methods, unlimited prying. Today's episode, I'm introducing Caley Jackdaw to the banned books list. Before we jump in, a quick warning for extended mentions of undetailed suicide. We looked at the banned books list, and there's not a lot. A lot less than I thought there was, honestly.
Most banned books seemed fairly reasonably banned.
Yeah, it's just a lot of political stuff, and noticeably, not the Black Cauldron. They're unapproved, but they're not banned. Gotta call attention to what brought us here in the first place.
There were also advanced and taboo magical studies that were banned.
Yeah, those were bad. They were real bad. So many people died.
A hypothetical tragedy was quite fascinating.
Which one was that again?
It discussed the idea of the magical community destroying everything it had made and built so far as a civilization and committing mass suicide to begin entirely anew.
Right, yeah, it was that one. I see the point in that one. I think we're doing fine, guys. Also, it would never work.
No, it could work. It would just have dire consequences for no potential reward.
There's no way you can convince everyone to commit suicide.
It would be the suicide of a culture, not of each individual. Those who didn't comply would be killed by way of murder.
Dang it, we're gonna have to label this suicide mentions.
Also, you haven't read it.
Okay, I haven't read it. You still can't convince everyone to commit suicide.
Pardon my paraphrasing, but I did specify the suicide of a culture afterward.
You said committing mass suicide. You said culturally after I made the comment.
And I still corrected myself and specified.
So it doesn't particularly matter that I haven't read the book. I don't want to hear about the thoughts of a psychopath who wants to theorize about what would happen if we killed everyone.
It's an interesting theory and does address the high price and consequences.
Yeah, but when people talk about it, they're singing its praises like it's not disgusting to kill an entire culture.
It is disgusting in practice, but there's nothing wrong with theories or ideas to go through them in your head and imagine what could happen.
Most of the people talking about it would want to do it in practice.
I disagree. Students are often told that to steer them away from it, as it does have a dangerous allure. Some believe that there are spells woven into the words to integrate the ideas into the heads of vulnerable readers.
This is getting too close to me bringing up cults. We can't talk about cults, because if we talk about cults, somebody's going to ask if I'm in that cult, which I'm not. Which I've said, I'm not in a cult, I'm not going to be in a cult. Stop.
Why aren't people asking if you're a member of the Eternal Light?
Because I'm an over-curious follower of Runar, which is all they know about the cultists.
They're not all Runar followers.
How do you know that?
I've been doing my best to keep up with their activities for safety.
Where did you find that out? Give me a source. I need a source. I want to show it to my roommate.
Sorry, all I can really say is that Cyrus helped.
You know what? I'm just gonna say, Caley, I do anything. And they, in their little, I'm an Eden follower, I'm better than you way, goes, are you sure you're not a cultist, Lilly? This seems like cultist behavior, Lilly. And then I black out for a moment, and when I wake up, I've been issued a noise complaint to my dorm.
I'm glad to room with Ezra.
Do you know how happy I would be if I could room with Ezra?
Shame the dorm system is sorted the way it is, though it's better than one infamous 7-book series.
One infamous banned 7-book series because AAA knows what it's doing. The badly written transphobic books deserve to burn.
Don't send them to Runar. I don't think he'd appreciate that.
That is how you send things to Runar. What does he deserve? Because he doesn't deserve more of them in his realm. What should we do with them? Soak them? Put them off to make new paper?
I think that they have a right to exist, but if we must destroy them, then recycle.
I mean, you're not wrong, because they probably do have a right to exist, but they shouldn't. I mean, come on, they're so gross. The house elves, Caley! The house elves. It's just, it's stupid. I won't stop. It's stupid.
Understood.
Like, not only that, but just the world building in general is terrible and built off of racist and insensitive ideas. Literally, the freaking goblins, they run a bank, and it's based off of such anti-Semitic ideas, and the ideas that they look like goblins. Goblins are based off of anti-Semitic ideas, and you can have non-anti-Semitic goblins, but she uses all of the stereotypes, and literally every single monster that makes them be anti-Semitic or anti-Muslim or literally any anti-ever, because most monsters like that are based off of some other that people saw and went, oh look, I'm gonna be the worst. Oh, shut up. I listened to you talk about brooms for God knows how long. You can listen to me rant about my opinions.
You literally told me to, even though I said that I felt strongly about the subject and wouldn't stop if I started.
Yeah, well, while I said who knows how long, I know how long, and it was a 30-minute rant about brooms. Our episode wasn't even 10 minutes. The episode itself was less than a third of your rant.
How does that work out?
What do you mean, how does that work out?
If the episode wasn't even 10 minutes, and my rant is in the episode, then how was my rant 30 minutes?
You don't listen to the podcast? I'm offended. This is offensive.
I can't, and Ezra won't let me.
Right. So this is Ezra's fault. Okay.
I don't know how to use these devices.
I'll teach you after we're done recording.
You will?
Yeah.
You sure like Runa to hear you, huh?
What?
You keep saying God?
That'll call him?
It invites them to listen in a way, and it can nag in the back of their mind, so to speak.
Okay. I must be really annoying then.
Quite possibly.
Right, this'll take a while to get rid of. Dang. I'm gonna change some more of my vocabulary.
Am I really the first one to tell you?
This may be why people think I'm a cultist. Do they think I'm a cultist because I keep praying to this guy accidentally?
I don't think Runa endorses the Eternal Light.
God. It's a filler word to replace God.
Gosh. Jeez. Grapes.
Right. Okay. Gosh, I'd hope not.
At least they aren't always over your shoulder. I get the feeling you'd hate that.
Caley, how would Cyrus feel to hear you say that?
I don't mind it. I find it comforting. I just get the feeling that you would not.
God, of course. Dang it. Of course you'd find your own little stalker god comforting.
I'm not going to say that.
Well, now I've got to know. What are you going to say?
Cyrus isn't a stalker.
Sure. He only watches you, what, 80, 90% of the time?
I would estimate 70.
That'll be your case here, bud.
I know, which is why I didn't want to say it, because I knew I wouldn't be able to explain it to you in a way that you would be able to understand.
Alright, I guess that makes sense. Usually in moments of awkward silence, I find a way to overshare on my personal life, but I don't think that works here.
Yeah, probably wouldn't.
Damn, not even my terrible mother can save me.
Do you need saving?
Yeah, from this stupidly awkward conversation.
Well, were there any more banned books we wanted to talk about?
Right, what other banned books were there? Twilight was banned.
It was. Can you blame them?
No, those books are stupid. Have you ever watched or read or consumed Twilight as a piece of media?
I feel like I've heard enough.
Well, it's not hard. Those books got stupid popular for how terribly they're written.
Is there any good piece of stupidly popular media, especially from the outer world?
The Percy Jackson books are pretty good, and while they do make some mistakes, the writer apologized for them and was typically doing it out of a place of ignorance rather than hate.
That's respectable. Isn't that series focused around Greek myth?
The main book series is, but there's so many offshoots, and his other books are all set in the same world, in which two of his other book series covered in Pantheon, those being in the Norse and Egyptian ones, respectively, while he covers the Roman Pantheon in a continuation series of the first.
His books among the approved?
No, they are unapproved, but not banned.
So, just checking. So that means students can have them, but they're not in the library, correct?
Yeah.
Have you ever read any of them?
I've read the main series and most of its direct sequel, but I haven't finished that one. And there are like 3 more spin-offs after it, and then a one-shot, and then another trilogy. So it's just so much to read, and it's all fantasy.
You're making it sound more and more enticing.
Well, you'd probably find it more enticing than I did to begin with. We just covered this, but I'm not that big of a fantasy reader, and by that big, I mean not at all. Fantasy is so boring.
How dare you?
Well, you already knew this. We covered it in my interview.
I know.
Just gonna say I know.
Well, I know that, but it just resurfaces each time you say it. You can just say you don't like it. It's not boring.
See, but to me it is boring. I'd much rather just pick up a newspaper.
I feel like we're off topic again.
We are. But then again, when are we ever on topic?
At the beginning of the recording sometimes.
Sometimes. And that's another case closed. If you enjoyed, drop a rating on today's episode, comment your thoughts and suggestions, share with your fellow scholars, and prepare for our next interview.